Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Basics of Nodes in Unreal Engine 4. In today's episode, I'm going to be going over a custom event node, what it is, how it works, and how we can use it in your games. So a custom event, as it sounds, is an event which you create yourself. So first we'll need to know what an event is. Well, an event is something that is triggered or called, and that then executes the line of code which comes after it. So for example, an event begin play will be triggered or called at the start of the level, so as soon as you begin playing, and it will then fire off all the line of code after that and won't do it again, as that's the only time the event will be called. So the custom event, you are creating something which can be called at any point in your blueprints. You would decide when to call it, and you can call it multiple times. However, you don't execute them in the line of code like you would with a macro or a function, or any other normal node. It is dependent on another section of the event graph executing them, or like in my Flash tutorial, via the console command. And this is because an event is always at the start of the code. So you'd need to trigger it based on something else that will then trigger the event, which then fires off the line of code afterwards. It can't happen halfway through some code. But why use custom events and not a macro or a function or any other events like that? Well, a custom event can be called multiple times, not just once, and can be easily referenced without having loads of white execution lines crossing over your code and making it looking really confusing and messy. Now this is similar to a macro or a function, but an event allows you to have more complex and go into more detailed code in there. So you just write off all the code off the event and then call this event any way you like. So for example, if we wanted to create a custom event to create a very simple flying mechanic, we could do that. So to do this, what we do is we right click and we simply just add custom event, like so. And then we can name this whatever we like. So I'm just going to name this fly/walk, anything along those lines which makes the most sense for you so you know what it is straight away. And then out of this event here, we will do all the code that we want. So every time we call this event, it will do this code. So again, I'm going to do a very simple fly mechanic. So what I'm going to do first is over on the right, I'm going to get an input and get a new parameter like so. I'm just going to call this character reference, and it will probably be Boolean by default for you. So if you click that variable there, I'm just going to search for character, and I'll just get a character object reference like that. Or actually, what I'm going to do is get a character movement component object reference like that. And then just out of the fly walk, what I'm going to do is come out the execution line. I'll get a flip-flop. So what this does is it will just toggle between our flying and our walking state, which is what we want. And out of this character reference variable here, what I'm going to do is come out of this and set the movement mode like that. And what this means is I just don't need to drag in this character movement up here and do that, as I've already set that up in this custom event here, meaning that wherever we call this, we will already have this reference that we need. So actually, to make this a bit more organized, what I'm going to do is call this character movement, and then I'll make another parameter, put it up at the top, and then this one I'll call character reference, and just change this to a normal character reference. That way, I can use this wherever I need, so I have both the references there, which I would like. And I'm not going to use this one, but it's there just in case I wanted it later on. So then this new movement mode here, I'm going to set to flying, plug that into the A, and then again I'll come out of the character movement, and then I will once again set the movement mode like that, plug that into B, and this one I'm going to set back to walking. And so now that's it, we've set up our custom event. So when this event here is called, what it's going to do is go into a flip-flop, set our movement mode to flying, and then when we call it again, it's going to set this back to walking. And as you can see, we have our character movement reference in this custom event here. So as you can see, this is very useful as we can put a lot in here and then call it very simply, which I'll show you how to do now. So like I was saying, how do we call and execute this event? Well, what we do is simply call function. So if we get something we want to trigger it, so for example, I'm going to do this off of the F keyboard event, like so. I'll just get that in there. And then out of pressed, so once you've triggered it, so this could be a box collision or anything like that, or if you're taking damage, so this is dying, could be literally anything. What you want to do is just simply call function there, and you'll get the one with the name of your custom event. So this is call function, and I named mine fly/walk, so I will get call function fly/walk like that. And again, that's it. That's all you need to do. Now in here, you can set the character reference and character movement references that we have created. These here are just essentially the variable inputs and parameters that you've created here, so we can set them to something different here if we would like. And also, again, the target I will have itself, as I want it to affect the third person character that this is in. So when we press F, it's going to execute our custom event here, which we made, which will toggle us between flying and walking. And you can then do code after you've called it as well, so you can come out of this execution node here as well. So if you want to play a sound effect, for example, you can do that, You might want to do that down here as well, up to you. And then you can also call this as many times as you like, and also anywhere you like. So if you want something else to trigger this as well, you can also do that. So if we then also get an E, see, you wouldn't want to do this, but this is just an example. If we get E, we can then also once again get the call function fly walk, and it won't break since we have two, it will still work perfectly. So I'll just get rid of that for the moment if we don't need it. And so what we're going to do is actually set this reference here. So if we get our character movement, just plug that in there, that's now set it. We can also do that for the character reference, so if I just drag out and get a reference to self, like so, we are setting them there, meaning that we can then use this wherever we like. So now if we test this out, so we can compile, save, minimize, and hit play to test this out, you can see that we're walking around. This is the normal walking movement mode, and if I hit F, we will have triggered and called that custom event that we made, so we should now be flying. So as you can see, we're flying like so, and if we hit F again, you can see we've called in the event, it's gone through the flip-flop, and we are now walking. So this works perfectly. We can call our custom event by pressing a simple key button, or anything you like. So we have this here. This is our custom event with our character reference, character movement references in there, going into our movement modes like so. So again, a custom event is an event that we create and we can call at any time and anywhere in our code or blueprints. We can use this in any blueprint, not just the one that you made it in. So for example, if you made it in the player blueprint, you can still call this event in the level blueprint as well. And to execute it, you simply just get a node called a call function, and you would just get the one with the name of your custom event that you called it. So for example, call function fly, or anything along those lines. And you can also put different inputs on this event as well. So these can be different variables like a string, a boolean, a reference to something, a float, an integer, anything along those lines. And so this could be useful if you want to print a string, mainly for testing, or if you want to hold a character reference. So for example, you want to change the movement speed or change the movement mode, anything like that. You can put the character reference in the event, so you can just drag off that and use that instead of having to get a new reference every single time. And then also when you call this, you can set that character reference to a different character if you would like, so that you can use it each and every time. So it just allows you to go really in depth and do a lot in here, so that you can very easily create your own more complex code. But I think that'll be it for this video on explaining what a custom event node is. I hope you understand it more now. If you do or don't, let me know in the comments down below. And if you don't, I can hopefully explain it a bit more and help you understand, maybe give a few more examples, something like that. And also, if you have any requests for further nodes you'd like explaining, put them down there as well, and I'll make sure to get around to them. So thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you found it helpful. And if you did, make sure to like and subscribe down below. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.